This is the beautiful face of a young girl sculpted decades ago, but unfortunately, as sometimes happens, it has run into some difficult times. We've been asked to repair some of these dings on the nose, her cheek, her lips, parts of her shoulders have also come off, and we're going to restore it, bring it back to its original look. Part of her ponytail has also broken off or is missing. We will resculpt that and then reattach the entire bust onto the original wood that the sculptor put it onto all those years ago. Using a gel version of cyanoacrylate, or a super glue, we put these small pieces together, then we'll reattach them to the bottom of the broken ponytail. The point where the hair connects to the back of her head also broke, so adding adhesive inside and then wiping off the excess and adding a little pressure until it hardens. While the shoulders have been secured to the main sculpture, adding a layer of adhesive to strengthen the base is going to make it more sturdy. Now back to the ponytail reconstruction. Plaster from the gaps is missing, so after reattachment, we're mixing some new plaster and then injecting it into those gaps and smoothing it over with the sculpting knife and then with wet fingertips. So I've replastered the ponytail, but I am leaving some of the rough carving lines from the original artwork. We're really just trying to restore it, not to resculpt. On the nose, however, there was a chip that had broken off, so using this epoxy-based sculpting material and wet fingers, we're trying to smooth that back in, so when the paint is touched up, it's going to be a perfect blend. Repairs to her chin, lip, and the bridge of her nose are next, all done by hand. Everything is blended with fingertips to reduce the lines where the plaster, epoxy, and more plaster blend. There's a section of hair that actually had been broken off, so that's not part of the original sculpture, and you can tell by the way the plaster top is quite jagged. So I'm just putting a very thin layer back on here. I'll try to keep the same sculpting lines as the original artist put in, but I will try to eliminate what looked a bit like a missing piece off the top. Remember, the goal is to keep the sculpture as original as possible, including the common aging look of plaster discoloration. To make the whole piece bright white would diminish it, and it would look very unnatural. The cheek gouge is gently filled and smoothed before it's ready for sanding. The pieces are now firmly reattached. I sanded off the bottom to make it smooth for a good connection. Then I used a router to remove all of the old glue residue. And with this low-tack tape, you can see the lines where I put it so that we'll know exactly where the head was positioned. We're going to put it into exactly the same spot using epoxy sculpt as a filler, epoxy 2-part glue to hold it down permanently in place. The sculpture is rebuilt, the missing pieces resculpted, and the entire piece is firmly reattached to its original base. Some final sanding with high grit sandpaper, the nose, the broken sections of her ponytail, then her cheeks, and she's ready for the critical stage of hand blending a color palette to match the existing colors and the patina. Solidly rebuilt and reattached to the base, which is wide to keep the center of gravity from tipping over the whole structure.
At first glance, it may seem like there's just one color of plaster, but over the years, sealants or pigments, even just the aging process and moisture can create a finish that you want to maintain. It's a little darker here along her part, and while her cheek is still a bit blotchy from the repairs, I'll be blending it to match, and then I'll work on the new filler added around the gaps in the base. These acrylic paints are the tones I'm using to match the existing shades, first a little darker, and then mixed with a lighter shade. Continuous mixing on the palette and on the statue is necessary to get it just right. And after touching up a few dings on the stand, the sculpture is ready to be proudly displayed again. Thanks for watching, and we'd appreciate if you'd like and subscribe to our channel.